And there we go. Okay. Look at that. It looks like, I don't know, somebody send me a note if this is working. The old dump looking pretty nice on the camera today. That's excellent. Cheers. Hey, Mike Shot and Michael Lococo. Cheers, guys. Acme Racing, good evening to you, too. Yeah. So what happened is I was filming something today that I was going to make a short video of for Thursday, and the entire project was a bit more ambitious than I could fit into the couple hours of daylight that we get here at this time of year. So that's going to be continued and make up a video in the future here. So anyway, you're stuck with looking at my face. So just let me know if there's any catastrophes here. Can happen. Hey, everybody, look at that. Wow, so many people, 100 people already. Josh, Kate, and James, and Nuts, and Gonz. Yo, to you guys. Happy good day to you guys, and Nick Tylan. Sorry, buddy. Nick, and Duke Luke Garage, and Leave a Gamble. Yeah. Window Creek, Nathan Barton, Lance McLean. There's Dean. Dean's here. Hey, Jonathan W's here. Same old shit. That's right, buddy. Cheers, man. Wasn't expecting Jonathan to stop in. Geez, we'll have to be a bit more professional. Well, that's good. That's almost impossible. Hey, Dean says, hey, wait, I have to hide in the bathroom at work to watch. You should be here, Dean. You guys leave a note if you think that Dean should just skip out of work and come over here and join me. Yeah, cheers to everybody. Wow, this is awesome. I'm going to obviously fail at keeping up with the questions, so I'll feel free to write it in more than once. Much appreciated. Yeah, so anyway, thanks you guys so much. If you have any questions about any of the stuff we're working on, or if you just want to chat with Jonathan in the little chat thing on the side there, that's awesome. Yeah, please do. So I will try to keep up, but it's not going to happen. I'll do my best that I can. And just wanted to stop in and say hi. I didn't have time to put the video together that I wanted today, but I know that we have been doing one on Thursday for quite a while. So here's some rusty cars and communism. Oh, you think you got it, hey? Well, is there an update on Steven's Saab? That's a fun. We were just looking at it yesterday. I don't know how far we've gotten on that. I lost a lot of footage when my hard drive crashed, so I think we're going to have to do a kind of a quick catch up to date on that. I'm kind of waiting for Steven to have a little more time to actually work on it. He's just bought an acreage, and it's, if anybody out there has a acreage, especially an old crumbling one that you got for cheap, you know how much work it is when you move into one. And Steven's working like 6 days a week and running himself pretty hard. So the Saab is kind of on the back burner for now. So any report on the 8mm film project? Not yet. It is in the mail. So I was mistaken about that. I thought that I could get it processed locally. Unfortunately, what I thought was processing turns out they can take, there's a local place that will take your processed film and digitize it for you, but I still need to send the film off to Hamilton, Ontario to get it processed. So that's happening now, and optimistic about that, but it's going to be months before we have anything to look at from that. So as much as I'm looking forward to it, it has to be something, it'll be a while yet. So what else? Describe your hypothetical full custom body. Oh, that's fun. Yes, I am headed over to Jim's tonight to work on the Lincoln. Yes. So that's a great plan. Oh, and as for, yes, the Patreon page, I'll put an update up there today or tomorrow, just keeping you guys up to date with what's going on around here. Thank you very much for the request for that. And thanks, of course, everybody to the patrons. If there's any of you guys here, it's much, much appreciated. There's John, there's Keith, and what happened to the Studebaker 289 you pulled out of the President? I mean, the dead one, the seized one that we pulled out of the 58 is just sitting on the driveway. The block is usable. The rest of it is not. The rest of it was junk. So, how's Miles doing with putting the Fury back together? Maybe he'll pop in. He just delivered the seats to the upholstery shop today. I think he wanted a couple of weeks off from that project, frankly, and he was busy with a few things, including helping me here. So the Fury project is definitely, it's in line there. And yeah, the plan is to have it more or less assembled and on the road by spring. So between now and spring, of course, we'll get multiple updates on it. So update on Jim's Lincoln. That's what I'm headed out to film tonight. We're going to spend a couple hours on it. Jim's very busy as well. As you know, he's got a lot on the go. So we try to squeeze in a little bit of time when we can. And of course, when you're looking at a project that's hundreds and hundreds of hours, it's going to be a job. So a little bit at a time, though. That's how we'll get it done. And let's see. Do you have any Plymouths for sale? No, I don't really sell anything. Squirrel update. Squirrel is fine. Frankers was just out barking at it. There's a spider in your beard. Well, I don't think so, but we'll have a quick look. If there is, it's very small. Or maybe that is my beard. Johnny says the calendar is very nice. Thank you so much, guys. We had a lot of fun putting that. It was a big job getting that together, but it turned out I was very, very proud of the final result, and the local printer here did a terrific job. So, thanks everybody who ordered one. I believe that I know for sure they're all shipped, and I believe most of them should have already arrived. So if yours hasn't arrived yet, it should be there very soon. And thanks again. I'll probably do it again. It was a lot of work, but it was also very rewarding to see it as a finished project. So that's very kind of you guys. So what's up with your friend with the cord? Oh, well, that is a very interesting car. I'm kind of, leaving that up to him. That's his project for sure. Yeah. So to see him buy the Panhards, well, he's arranged to pick them up. I don't think there was a lot of money involved, but of course they will probably end up with Stephen. Yeah, there's not really enough there to put one together. So scoop on Laura's Rover is that I'm painting it. I was going to paint it today, but of course I'm going over to Jim's, and so there's not really time to do a decent job of it. But the fenders, I think we did a video where the body is painted and delivered back to Collins, and he's putting the engine together, and all four fenders are ready to paint now. That was the next thing on the list, so I'm going to spray those probably on the weekend here, and we'll film some of that. A lot of what we're doing on Laura's car, I'm just not filming. So there's Kyle Carter. Oh, and look at it. There's Farrell at Shop Cat. Cheers, guys. Yeah, I got my mug from Elton McFall, retro old school. Cheers, Elton. How's the Gravely restoration? Oh, it's top of the list, buddy. Oh, one from Classic Reaction. Have a beer on me. Thanks very much. I'll have a water on you and pocket the fiber maybe. So Laura will live in the log cabin eventually. Yes, that is her plan, to retire to live in the log cabin. I don't know if anybody's from around this area, but the location of their farm that's been the same since 1850 or whatever, before it was a country here, they're getting expropriated to build more mini malls and apartment blocks and bullshit. So they have to find somewhere else to live. So they're actually moving. They bought property a little closer to me here, and you've seen the property where we did the V8 Showdown drag race, and filmed the Model T video there, and we filmed some of the 37 Chevy video with Laura there. Anyway, that's going to be where they're going to retire to, I think. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Colin will ever retire, because what does a farmer do when he's retired? He just would go buy a farm, I guess. So I talked to him about that. Like, why don't you just retire? And he said, I'm a farmer. I can't retire. That's what you do. You're a farmer. So it's true. It's very true. Gary Parker got his calendar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, buddy. Cheers. Fury Wagon. That's another great project. Yes, we were. There is a plan for that. The plan involves me putting the hoist up, though. So I was going to have the hoist up this fall, but we just ran out of time. It took a little extra time to get that driveway graded the way I wanted and the way that Justin wanted. And by the time he finished that, we're getting a little too cold for concrete season here. So the plan is that the hoist will go up in the spring, and the first project for the hoist is the 72 Fury Wagon, which I'm having a hard time keeping my hands off it, frankly. I've got a lot of fun projects, and I want to be very diligent about not starting all 10 of them at once. Excuse me. That's a way to die with a lot of dismantled cars that then go to the crusher. So I want to make sure that if I start one, that we finish it, or at least get it to plated, and then then you can start on the next one. But I don't want to be trying to build 5 cars, 10 cars at once. So kind of trying to start with the smallest projects. In the case right now, the little black Renault 5, all the pieces kind of just fell into my lap for that. So that's because that's not a major restoration. That's more just a fixer-upper. That's at the front of the line. Get that out of the way. The traction avant is a big job. I think that's going to be a big restoration. So I'm not touching that until the SM is done. The guy doesn't really want to have too many dismantled Citroens at the same time. So that's kind of the situation with those right on. So sorry, I probably missed a bunch here. Cheers, you guys. Wow, cheers from Poland. Wow, and from Wisconsin, Oostburg. That almost sounds like a European name. Cool. Did you sell the nice blue early 60s four-door that you said you bought in the 90s? No, I still have that. That's a 61 Plymouth Belvedere. I bought that so long ago that I'll never sell it. The only thing I ever wished with that car was that it was a 2-door hardtop. So you can take that as a hint. But I've had that car forever, and it's I quit driving it about 20 years ago when I moved out here. I kind of fixed up the Newport at that time, and I just started daily beating the Newport. Just it was a little more practical. It had seat belts and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, that I do still have the car. Yeah. John says, "I'd like to see motorcycle walk around some cold starts." Yeah, I would like to as well. I almost went for a ride today. I'm going to wait. If it's nice next week, I'm going to fire up my motorcycle and take it out, because I've never ridden a motorcycle in December before. Usually by the end of October, we're completely snowed in here. So this is very unusual. I'm not hating it, honestly. It's pretty cool. Andy and his daughter were out on their bikes a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it's frosty, but you can do it, yeah, that's what's happening with the bikes for sure. Will we ever hear a longer band jam? Well, the one time I tried to make it more than a minute long, the video got claimed, and I made zero money on that video for all my work. So very tentative about even putting it back in at all. But I also thought, it's my show. I'm going to do whatever I want. And if every now and then it gets hosed, well, that's the way she goes. So I'm going to, I would consider it one day if I can get the internet, and if I could. Who gave me $10? Sorry, just a second here. Rusty Junk. Oh, thank you very much, buddy. I didn't see that. Sorry about that. I must have been rambling on about something else. Have a joint on me. Well, thanks very much. I will. I certainly will. And while I'm here, the bear asks, hello from Vermont, waiting for the 59 Buick to start, but wanted to finish the SM first. Are you ready? Yes. We're going to start on the 59 Buick this winter as soon as the Renault engine is in. The thing with the Buick is it needs everything. So the part of the Buick that I can start without having the car inside is the engine and transmission. So I'm hoping to do a light refreshing on the 364 this winter. And, I want it to be decent. That car I'm keeping, you probably noticed I don't sell very many of my cars. So that'll be a keeper. So that yeah, and I've never had a Dynaflow part before, so let's tear into that too. I think it'll be fun. So I'm going to start the '59 Buick this winter, but only the mechanical, or only the engine and stuff. So the Buick project involves like swapping frames and a lot of like, it's going to be a pretty much a full tear down and rebuild, because I want that car to be nice. It's a car I've always wanted. So anyway, I'll try and catch up here. Sorry guys, I have to skip ahead here, and feel free to keep trying. It's the best we can do here. Dean, don't send me money. Dean just sent me $13.99. Okay, Dean, I'm just gonna buy beer for you, and I'll just have it here. Like, that's funny. Dean sending. Thanks, Dean. Anyway, whatever. Do I have a favorite car from the Finn era of cars? Well, I own most of my favorites. Yeah, I would say that it would be a very, well, '59 Buick and the '60 Fury and '57 Plymouth 58. You know, all the Plymouths really, '57 to '61 are my favorites, and '59 Chevs, '59 Buicks, and I really like 1960 Fords. And I like the '60 Impala, of course. Anyway, so yeah, could I narrow it down? Not really. I mean, they're all just, those are my favorite American cars, and I like the earlier '50s cars a lot more than I used to. So those also are a lot of fun too. Have I driven the T in the snow? Yeah, I did last year. Yeah, it's fine. It's not going to get you in too much trouble, that thing. Yes, we do have a plan to do a complete walk around of the boogie van next year. It's just, there's no point in filming that again until the interior is done. It's just one of those projects that you think is going to take a couple of months, and here we are 3 years later still waiting for the guy to finish the interior. So but the plan is to do a proper video of the boogie van as a finished machine, not just as a painted machine. So any greasy flips before winter? Just stay tuned till Saturday. Yeah, we've got a greasy flips that Dean and I filmed last week. I just have to edit it, and yeah, so that's coming up for sure. So anniversary T-shirt for the Fraser. Yes, that'd be fun. Well, I have a couple of Fraser T-shirts left. Maybe we'll do something. Would I do something from the teens? Absolutely, yes. If the right car came along, once you get back into the brass era cars, you know, they get kind of expensive. So to buy a 1919 Model T is one way to do it, but it's not really, you know, I already have a Model T. So an earlier Model T, kind of my thinking was if I could get one from the zeros and the teens and the 20s, because I have everything from the 20s right up to today. So if I could get a 19, you know, but you're trying to buy 1903 cars and stuff, it starts getting, you know, harder. I mean, everything's out there, but you know, it becomes a real commitment in time and money and effort if you're going to buy a 1903 Rambler and restore it. So I have to be realistic about that, and a lot of that stuff, even the T, was a matter of waiting, and it was actually Matt at Strong's that found that T, and it was just a case of, I told him, hey, I want a late T, you know, coupe. I wanted a coupe, and a couple of years later it came along. So that's you know, something to consider. Oh, I want to make sure I didn't miss something here. Oh, Pondart sent $4. Thanks very much. And somebody's trying to phone me. Thanks very much. That's very cool of you. Thanks so much, man. And then Dean sent me $13. I don't know what's the matter with that guy. That's funny. Blue 72 Fury 2-door. Yeah, I almost fired it up today because my original video idea we just ran out of time and light and batteries and whatever. So it's I honestly thought of firing up the Blue 72 and using it as a winter beater, just bringing it back. it would probably do it. But man, the thing is rough now. Like the windshield's been leaking for years and all the wiring is, it would be, you would have to almost restore it just to use it for a beater. And then I wouldn't want to use it for a beater. So Brian asked about the Volvo beater. I was actually looking at it yesterday and I'm still thinking about it. The trouble with it is that there's a lot of work to be done there. And when you're trying to make a living at YouTube is such as it is, to try and squeeze in 100 hours for a Volvo sedan, it's difficult to make anyone kind of even like, it's not a car that, and none of the videos would get watched. So I have to be realistic about trying to balance what I want to do with what people would want to watch. And so it is just a balancing act. And so if I've got 20 cars to build and there's one or two where if they filmed it, nobody's going to watch it, well, those cars naturally are going to go to the bottom of the list. And unfortunately, that's where the Volvo is right now. It's still a very doable car and I'd still like to do it, but it's a very difficult thing to do it and run the YouTube channel when there's only so many hours in a day. So it is a real consideration, and we'll see. Part of the problem is that the Volvo went from being something that was a very easy job to now, like circumstances and the fact that it sat around so long means it more or less has to come apart a lot more than I wanted to originally. The body would be very simple. I could have it painted in 2 days, but there's no point when the fuel pump is gone now, and there's probably some electrical bullshit in the shifters. There's things, and it starts to add up, and you just have to say, like, sooner or later, if I don't have time for it, I'm going to have to sell it or move it along to somebody. So let me try to get caught up again, guys. Whatever became of Al? Well, Al's, I was just talking to him yesterday. Al's fine. He's very busy. He doesn't have as much time to hang around, so that's fine. We'll try and get Al back for a Classic Darts Christmas episode would be my hope, but I certainly don't have any control over what Al's doing. Al's very busy. He's got multiple car projects underway, and I think he's helping Matt and Jim a lot at their shop there. So that's excellent, and always a treat when Al can stop in, but he is a very busy man. Let's see. Oh, Sergeant said the calendar's great. Well, thanks very much, man. Oh, there's Randall from Shed by the Tracks. I hope you guys are all checking that out. It's awesome. Very good to see you, Randall. Cheers, man. Oh, well, somebody just asked again about Al. Did Al die from Classic Darts? No, Al, no, he's doing great. We'll try and get him over for an episode of Classic Darts here for Christmas. So cheers. Cheers, Jerry. Jerry's got to run. Cheers. Well, you guys, sorry, I'm just trying to, I always think that I can keep up and I just can't. Where does Dean work? Dean works at a place called, well, I don't know. He works at a big warehouse lumberyard on the south side here, and he's very busy. He works 6.5 days a week. So, that's, did Dean owe me $13.90? Maybe he did, John. Maybe he did, yeah. What is that? Brian Maynard, $20. Thank you so much, Brian. I wasn't expecting any of that. That's very kind of you guys. Yeah, making a living on YouTube is ruining the fun. Well, it kind of is, yeah. Is Volvo even less interesting than a Renault? Possibly. I think that it is. Volvo sedan content would be epic. Kyle knows exactly what makes epic content for sure. He's always got great ideas. So maybe I should section and channel the Volvo sedan. That would be, hey, and instead of making fadeaway fenders, I could make separate fenders for it. Kyle would approve. Hey, there's Ed. Cheers, Ed. Mopar Ed. Everybody, if you don't know Mopar Ed, he's been instrumental in encouraging me when I'm ready to quit sometimes. And cheers, buddy. Ed has been watching this nonsense for almost as long as I've been doing it, which is quite long now. I was thinking the other day that there are people who were in kindergarten who have graduated high school in the time that I've been doing this. I was actually downloading some of my old videos from my channel just so that I have copies of them, because a lot of the computers that I did all that stuff on are long gone or broken or whatever. So I'm like, I don't even have copies of my own videos from 13, 14, whatever years ago. So I was actually trying to put some of that together. Then I thought, well, and the temptation to start, archiving or to start, looking back, I don't know. There's obviously that temptation there, but then I don't want to me, when you start doing that, it's almost like it's kind of your farewell tour kind of thing. And I don't really feel that. I don't really feel that that's necessary. Though it is fun to see the first video that Dean is in. And if anybody knows that, you guys, I should ask you guys a question. What's the first video that Dean's in? Yeah. So that's fun. And the first video that Ash is in is actually even earlier than that. I was watching the other day. I was like, oh, that's right, Ashley's in this video. And it was one of the first ones we did. So that's kind of cool. I'll just try and keep up here. Sorry, some of these questions, if I've already answered them, I won't have time to say it again. Sorry, guys. I know it's not anybody's fault, but anyway, will you ever be in 1080? I thought of it. I did not with my current internet, not with my current hardware and internet. It's just not realistic. It takes 6 hours to upload one of my videos right now. If it's in 1080, it would take several days. So I will. It's a possibility, but it means that I'm going to have to. I would have to take a. It would take a lot of restructuring of the entire infrastructure of this here. So we'll see if it becomes problematic to, like, if you're not in 1080, nobody will watch the videos. Okay, I'd consider it, but honestly, the amount of memory you need to go to 1080. And the processing power and the internet speed that you need is all prohibitive when it's a bunch of dirty guys working in a dirty garage. Like, it shouldn't need to be any better than it is, honestly. But whatever. Has Laura done a review of the Fury? No, she has not. I want to. I'd like to get her to do that, but watching 144. I think some of my earlier videos are in 144. Cheers. Yeah. Have you seen Dan's 53 Olds lately? I was going to get over there. Dan actually is in Mexico right now. He's part of a work trip. Dan works for Ford, so every now and then they send them to these conventions, and it's usually involves at a resort or whatever. So that's where Dan is. But yeah, the 53 Olds is in the shop, and he's going through the brakes. As soon as the brakes are assembled, I'm going to go over and help him bleed them. And then if we can get that thing to where it has actual functioning brakes, we'll probably take it for a spin. So that'll be cool. Hoping to head over to Jim's tonight for some more Continental action for sure. Build another Trans Am Volvo. That's funny. That's another one of the videos I watched when I was trying to download my old videos the other day. That was pretty funny. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Laura's right. Yeah, I think so. I think she does for somebody whose social media exposure is virtually zero, she's quite comfortable with it, and I appreciate that she would take her time. So earliest episodes are 480. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, I think they are. So the algorithm. Build a 2-door from a 4-door. Yeah, for sure. I'd do anything with Dan, but he's a very busy man too. Did you guys know that Dan and possibly Daddy both are still holding down full-time jobs and doing that much on YouTube? It's pretty mind-blowing. Dan's making us all look pretty lazy. So thank you, Ed. Laura did a great job. Very fine. Very kind of her. So thank you, Donald. That's very nice. What happened to the half track? It appeared nearly. I don't remember that. don't remember if I had a half track. Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the 37 Chevy video. I was very disappointed when I found that the camera had quit, or that it turned out to be not the cable like I thought it was, and not the camera like I thought it was. It turned out to be the actual microphone itself, and so that hopefully will not happen again. I think we've lost the last audio that we're going to lose. So anyway, why do you spend so much time on the Renaults when you have great cars that could be restored? Yeah, I just build whatever I want. I mean, if I was trying to build stuff to be successful on YouTube, I wouldn't build any of the cars that I build. I would just build Camaros and Mustangs and put LSs and whatever in them, and they're, buy Chinese panels and weld them on. I said when I started this that I was going to film what I was doing anyway. And so that's what I'm doing. And, within reason, obviously it would be nice to it would be nice if everything I wanted to build was a smash hit, but it's just not realistic. And then as soon as you're doing stuff for any reason other than you want to, then it might as well just be a job. So in order for it to not feel like a job, and 13 years later, for me to still be enjoying this, and I really am, for this to still be fun, it can't feel like a job. And that means that the cars, why do I like R5s? I don't know. Why do I like Citroens? Like, I sure didn't like them as a kid. I thought Renaults were silly as a kid, and I thought Citroens were just the most awful things. Andy and I used to laugh at them. But, you grow up, and now I appreciate them. So you just got interrupted by 2 unskippable commercials. Yes, I apologize for that, guys. This is all automatic now. I set the number of commercials to the bare minimum that I could, and so I hope you're not getting interrupted too much. It does suck. I appreciate that anybody would put up with it. YouTube, as we all know, it's not what it was. I tell you, as much as I love doing YouTube, I wouldn't start today. I'm happy that I started when I did, because I would have been so discouraged trying to get going today just with the amount of rules and stuff. And, and I try not to dwell on YouTube and its politics and stuff, because it just becomes too discouraging. So as much as I recognize that YouTube is not a force for good, I don't think, in the world, as much as I recognize that, I also recognize that I've been doing YouTube way longer than the people who own it now, and so they can kiss my ass. Like, YouTube used to be cool. It used to be the Wild West. You could do whatever you wanted, and today's YouTube is not. That's not the case. And so, but I've got, I haven't changed. So if YouTube decides to, try and hide my videos, well, whatever. But I'm not stopping. I'm not changing them. I'm not taking the swearing out. I'm not taking the dope, and I'm not taking the drinking and the cigarettes, because all of that stuff would probably have to go if I was going to try and make a go at it from scratch today, and I'm not going to try. Thank you very much, Rum Runner. Oh, Ed asked where's Frankers. She's asleep in the chair right there. She's been chasing the squirrel all day. Yeah. You like R5s for the reason they're cool. Well, thank you. They are, oh my God. Sorry, guys. Somebody just sent $100. Why would you? Thanks for the channel. My dream car is a 53 New Yorker. They're hard to find. I got a 63 300 and a 62 D100 daily driver. Wow, Sonny, that is unbelievably kind of you, man. Like, just out of the blue. Is that really $100? No, I'm not missing the decimal point there. Holy shit. All right, guys, see you later. Taking the rest of the day off. No, I'm just kidding. That is unbelievably kind, man. Well, what do you even say to that? I mean, that's nuts. Well, tell you what, I'm certainly going to give Dean back his $13 anyway. Are you staying on YouTube? Yes, I think I am. I think I am. Thank you, Randy. Sometimes I get down about it, but then I remember I've never held any job for 13 months in my life, much less 13 years. So I just can't see anything that I would do that would, yeah, you guys, way to go, Sonny is right. Like, holy cow. I just can't think of anything I would do that is more suited to my temperament anyway. Like to be able to share what I think is a pretty, like, I'll tell you what, I enjoy every day I get up and I look forward to it. I look forward to whatever I'm doing. And that was not the case when I've tried to, drive to work and sit at a desk and, and it wasn't a terrible job. It was a desk job, and I, and none of that, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So to, if YouTube hadn't come along, I wonder what I'd be doing. I might be like picking bottles and living in a cardboard box somewhere, because I certainly was not cut out for commuting to work at, and it's the getting, you have to be here at this time, and that means you have to get up at this time, and you have to start your car at this time, and that is really hard for me. Like, I like to get up whenever I feel like it, and then I like to have a coffee, and then I like to go walk with Fraggers for a while. So do you need a CWM blooper reel video? Well, as I've said before, the show is the blooper reel. All the stuff where things are getting accomplished without any problems and nobody's effing up, all that stuff gets cut. I mean, that's the show. The show is the stuff that makes me laugh. I edit everything else out. I film so much stuff and it's like, oh, it's not funny. Cut. There we go. If it's funny, that's what goes in. So I remember clean shaven Scott and the CWM driving. Yeah. I think people think I've had the beard longer than I have. And to see it is the blooper reel. The editing is time consuming. It's Fridays are 20 hours straight in front of this computer, and my eyes are bleeding and my back is very sore by the time I'm done. But it matters to me. I'll tell you what, if I didn't like doing it, there's no way I could put up with it. Like to work a 20-hour shift in front of a computer in doing the editing is only because it matters to me personally, that it's something I'm proud of. And I really do try every week to make something I'm proud of. The Thursday videos, they're just kind of like to feed the machine in a sense. Like if you're putting up one video a week, YouTube just doesn't care about you at all. They think one video a week is a waste of life. So I try putting up 2 videos a week. Has it made any difference? I don't know. I don't think so. But, so, hey, Matt, nearly 11 a.m. here, and I'm happily avoiding work. Distributing your Pontiac. That's fantastic. I think you sent me pictures of that. That is an absolutely delightful car. So, yeah, thanks so much, you guys. Anyway, that's the story on whether I'm going to stick with it. And I really think, a lot of it is having no option. And the other part of it is I really started to realize after 10 years or so that it is kind of, if I'm still trying and trying harder, then I must have something that I get out of it. And it's fun, and it's fun to look back and it's fun to, like, when I'm editing, I'm laughing. Like I'm sitting here and I've been awake for 20 hours. And if it still makes me laugh, then that is awesome. Then I'm like, well, if I'm laughing, then at least I think it's funny. And if nobody else likes it, I don't care. I put that shit up because I think it's funny. And if nobody else thinks it's funny, okay, well, I don't care. I'm putting it up anyway. But if other people also think it's funny, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I don't know, the fact that it's still here and I haven't been forced to go pick bottles yet, I guess, whatever, right? I'll keep at it. I can't, we've had people suggest you get somebody to do the editing, but the editing it has to be me because it's, the editing is how you portray what you want to remember that week as. And somebody else editing would pick completely different stuff to put in the videos than I do. Like, so it has to be me, as much as that might sound a bit odd, but I think anybody else who's done YouTube, some of might even be watching, anybody else doing it, I would suspect they feel the same way, but maybe not. Maybe everybody else would be totally happy to have somebody else edit their stuff. totally get that too. But I certainly couldn't for this, just because if I don't find it funny, I don't want to watch it. So anyway, thank you guys. Thanks for putting out the calendar. Oh, you're very welcome, Gary. That's very cool of you. Lester sent me $20. Jesus, you guys. Thanks very much. Oh, Lester, don't worry about it, man. That is fantastic. Well, that's very kind of you. I will make sure that if you have any questions, we can sort that out. But that is really fantastic of you guys. Certainly not why I decided to do this today, but it is much appreciated. Is weed totally legal up there? Yes, it is. Weed stores are like 7-Elevens up here. There's like they're pretty much next to every liquor store. I've yet to be in one. I will mention that. I've never bought my weed off the government. You know, those fuckers are not allowed to say they're going to put me in jail for 20 years and then want me to pay them for the same product. So they can kiss my ass. I grow it in my yard. We grow great big bags of it. Right? There. Government can kiss my ass. Grow it costs this much money. And, you know, I don't go through as much as I think people think I do. So it's not. There was a time, certainly in my life, maybe 20 years ago, where it was an all-day thing. But I find I'm very busy now, and it's got its time and it's got its place, but it can't be a full-time thing for me. I'm just too busy, and it got its place. You know, if what is going on here? Am I this? What? Hang on, sorry guys. Let me get to that in a second here. So sorry, I'm trying. I don't even know what I was talking about. That's maybe why I shouldn't smoke so much weed. Oh, like if you got, you know, here's the thing, and I'm not telling people what to do with their lives. This works for me. If you've got everything set out for your job, you got some big boring job, like you got to sand all the paint off the side of a great big car, and you got all your tools there, and you got your thing, and everything's set up, and you got the sandpaper and the sander, and you've got everything you need. You got some drinks, and you got whatever. Then, you know, smoke a joint and sand that baby down, no problem. But if you wake up in the morning and you walk outside and you're like, oh, it's a nice day, and you smoke a big joint, and you're like, what are we going to do today? The answer is nothing, because you're going to wander around. You're going to do 5 minutes of this and 5 minutes of that. And you're going to be like, oh, look at over there. Oh, a squirrel. And then you might as well just go chase Frankers around. So I think, like so many things, used constructively, it can be fine. So anyway, I don't really dwell on it like maybe I used to, and but it is, you know, it's got its place, and it's certainly got less of a piece of my life than it used to, but it'll always be part of it for sure. So, Elmer says, I like watching because I learn so much about how to do shit on my own. Well, that's very kind of you. Thanks, man. I mean, that's a bonus. I mean, I try not to make it a how-to, and I've been very clear about that. If you want a how-to, there's lots of guys who will show you how to do stuff. This is not how to do stuff. This is like, if you want to follow around some weirdo who's obsessed with cars and see what he's wasting his life on, that's what we're doing. Stephen loves the calendars. Oh, thanks so much, Stephen. I saw you guys in the video. That was funny. The editing is what makes it yours. Yeah, thank you, Tom. So did you, who's Capri? Oh, it's my brother's Capri. Yeah, that's the yellow one. Yeah, he's had that for 20 years or so, at least. Yeah, and that is that car came from California. It's a very nice, clean. It was a 4-cylinder car, and he's got a late model 5-liter engine in it and a T5. It's really fun car. Randy, man, it's $50. Come on, man. Like, you guys are crazy. Thank you. You don't even have a question? Just Randy Man is the man. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you very much. Again, this is not here trying to make money today. I just my video I was going to make kind of fell off the rails. Anyway, it'll still get finished, but when the sun's going down and it's 10 to 4, and if I'm going to put something up by 6 or 7 local, I have to be in here editing it by 4. And at 4 o'clock, I didn't have any action And I was like, okay, I guess we're going to do a live video today. So sometimes if you see it's just me or, so sometimes that's what happens. I don't ever schedule to do these things. So it is a very spontaneous thing. So again, I have no, I have no pre-planned agenda. I don't even clean the room really. I guess you can't. Doesn't look much worse than usual anyway. So I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh my God, geez, 100. Is this the same? What? You guys are nuts. Like, who's giving this bum $100? Anyway, thank you so much, JC. You could ask a question or something. You probably ask something pretty rude for $100. Thanks very much, man. That is first super on. Well, you guys, I mean, that is okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to think of something useful to do with this with the money, you guys. Thanks very much. I did. It'll definitely go to good use. There's kind of starting to save for a new computer. When Laura was over and we were filming the 37 Chevy stuff, the overdubs, and she said, "Is this the computer that you and I went and bought like 10 years ago?" And I was like, yeah. I thought it was more like 3 years ago, and I think it's somewhere in between. But the computer, it's definitely, all the infrastructure for this channel is getting close to needing a refresh. So thank you guys so much. Any of this kind of bonus funding certainly is easy to put back into trying to make something better and try to keep it better. So thanks very much. Adams Russ proving the CWMC sponsored. Oh, that's right. You guys, awesome. Go to the track this month. Cheered. Yeah, it's you guys in the credits. You might see the Gentleman's Recreation Center of, I don't know how to pronounce it, Poznania. Anyway, Adam is they have a BMW race car, and he's got a Kohler Motor sticker on the back, and they're patrons of the show, and pretty awesome. So you guys keep it up. That is fantastic. So cool. So happy to see see people who are having some fun with this, and the whole thing. I think we started as a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing where, like part of the thing with, car culture is there's not really anybody kind of having a little poke at it. Like, it is a bit funny sometimes. So, David X, speaking of longtime patrons, Randy asked about the beard. Well, I'll tell you what, it looked like this after about 18 months. It just doesn't get any longer. Like, when it gets this long, it starts to break off. So short of actually starting, like if you start really like, oh, careful of my beard, I suppose you could get it longer, but it is just, I won't get into the reasons why I grew it, but it's not because I think I look fantastic with a big long beard. It was a personal thing that might get into one day, but trying to keep the politics to a minimum. So we will continue with that. Do what you want to do. Custom. Oh, well, thanks very much, David. I very much appreciate. David, you've probably seen some of David's models that he sent during the mail opening segments, which we're going to do a massive one here. I'm going to get as many of the fellas over nearer to Christmas, and we're going to try and open all the mail. Thank you, everybody who sent something. I'm a little overwhelmed. I never expected any of that when I started doing this, and there's literally, there's a lot. There's a lot. So we're going to try to get through it. I deeply regret that we filmed a whole bunch of it a few months ago, and we opened a lot of packages, and Dylan was here, and all the guys were here. It was really fun, and that's the hard drive that got smashed. So I'm going to have to go and find all of the mail that we opened that day, and we'll show it to everybody, and and obviously thanks so much. There was big, beautiful signs that people sent and stuff, and one for Dean's car lot, and is great big metal signs, beautifully done. So I want to make sure that we show all that stuff, and there's just so much, and it's crazy. So anyhow, thank you guys all so much. I'm just way over my head here. Altitude adjustment, right. Greetings to Out of Order Garage from Southern Maryland. Very cool. Could we have a one-word review of your herb by Laura? No, Laura doesn't smoke. No, Laura's pretty straight edge. She doesn't drink either. Hi from Australia to Mark Bear. Any plans for the 60 Ford pickup? Yes, but again, the plan is it's a long-term plan, and yeah, I mean, the plan right now is keep it dry, keep it clean, keep it inside, and that pickup came with this property when I bought it, so I've always planned to redo it, and it's a challenge to get through all these. Like it really is only me. Like I know, we get the guys together and stuff, but none of the guys that you see in the videos work here. Like, so they all have jobs. So what I am able to film comes out of their bit of free time that they have. So it's not like I've got 5 guys out there and be like, okay, we're going to take the cab off the 64. Like everything that's a major project has to be planned well in advance with the expectation that it is going to take years. Every car you start is going to take years. So choose carefully, especially if you're trying to use the YouTube channel to fund the projects. It's much easier to do that if people are into those projects, like the Plymouth Fury project. I think that was a great example of one that, had a lot of enthusiasm for it, and I really wanted it as well. Certainly, I don't expect the weirdo French cars to have that kind of support. I get that. It's, they're not relatable in a sense. Like very few of us got dropped off at school in an SM, or went, like when I was a kid, cars like that were just, they might as well have been spaceships. Like we had a Dodge Dart and a Plymouth Fury, and the neighbors had a Ford F100 and a Chevy Impala or whatever. Like there was no weirdo European cars where I grew up. So I totally understand that they're not really relatable, and I get that. And people, but I've been obsessed with cars since I was a kid. Sooner or later, like any addiction, you kind of get into the weird stuff, and so I've ended up with these weirdo cars. But it doesn't mean that that I don't like the stuff I used to like. It's just I like more of it. So I have to be careful not to get too, again, it's right now it's safe and it's all in one piece. That's all I can say. I do have a plan, but I won't get into it until we get to actually doing it. So thanks for that, Mark. Phil, thank you so much. Phil has sent us so much stuff over the years. I don't even know what to say. And now he's sending me money. That's just crazy, Phil. Thank you so much, buddy. More stuff from the U.S. coming for you. Some surprises. Oh, that is awesome. Phil, I don't know if he has like some abandoned warehouse of old car parts, but the stuff he finds is just amazing. So thank you again, buddy. Very much look forward to it. I'll keep an eye on that. Well, that is... sorry, I'll try to get caught up with you guys a bit here. Tom always been your neighbor since you moved here? Yes, I met Tom almost immediately after I moved here, and he was retired already even then. And yeah, Tom actually just left. He was helping me on what was going to be today's video, and he was helping me. And when it became obvious that the wheels were coming off of that little project, he's like, "Well, I gotta go." So thank you guys all so much. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, and I'm obviously failing. But anybody who's seen this before, would you ever restore a Lada? Yeah, I don't know if I'd restore one. Would I own one? Yes. In some ways. Well, the only Lada I would have would be the Fiat style ones, whatever they call those. I think those were cool. They were sold. They sold quite well in Canada, actually. Um, so that's yeah, that's a car I would have. Um, Good evening, Michael. Michael's in South Carolina. Well, thanks so much, you guys. Um, just making sure I'm caught up here. Did I miss something here? No. Okay. Sorry, guys. I just so crazy here. Um, they're wondering what happened to the 50 green Roadmaster. Oh, it's sitting on the lot. I think it was in the last video. Um, so yeah, that's still around. No particular plan for it yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, oh, Michael Brown. Hi, Scott. Mike Brown of Michael and Emery. Oh, thank you very much. Another patron of the show. Thanks so much, you guys. Very good to see everybody. I'm really trying here. Tell you what, we'll try to get down here to get caught up. Oh, well, thanks very much. Restored Hot Rods found your channel via the 37. Thanks very much, man. Saving for a big new shop? No, I don't need a bigger shop than I have. It's just me. The shop that I have now when is so much more than I ever could have asked for as a kid. Like when I used to just work in my dad's driveway, like to have a shop. I didn't have an air compressor for like 20 years after I got my license. Like just to have a functioning shop where I can basically do anything I want. It doesn't need to be any bigger. It would just mean bigger heating bills. The heating bill around here is pretty crazy. Like I don't mind saying that the overhead gets a little crazy. So I try to I certainly wouldn't want more. But to have an insulated shop, and my favorite thing about my shop where the body work gets done is I have the compressors in the barn and I've piped the air underground. And if anybody's worked in a body shop for years, you get so sick of just every 5 minutes of brrr. So when I put the compressor in the other building, and that's something that Al showed me. He did that in his shop. He put the compressors in a basement with a concrete barrier around them, and he didn't have to listen to a meter. I'm like, wow, it just changes the whole thing when you don't have to constantly be going because I hate compressor noise. And yeah, that's my favorite thing about my shop is that the compressor is in a different building, and once a year it'll freeze up because the moisture in the air will collect at the low spot, and then you got to pour some hot water in. But I don't care. That's small change. The rest of the time, I never have to listen to a compressor again, and that is huge. That's my favorite part about my shop. That and it's heated and whatever. And there's lots of lights. I could not ask for a better shop. I could not. So happy to have it. And if it held 10 cars, there would be 10 dismantled cars instead of 3. So this way, at least if I want to bring a car in, I got to finish one. And I really that has been a real saving. So oh, Myron, hockey in 1 hour though. Oh yeah, 5 o'clock, I guess, eh? Michael Brown watching since their first video. Holy cow, you guys, that's amazing. My daughter will be not. That's cool. Randy, cheers, Randy. Still planning a trip in 24. Right on. When are you gonna paint something plum crazy? I don't know. I guess it would have to be something that was supposed to be plum crazy. I think Paul has a plum crazy 71 Swinger that we featured on the show. Yeah, that was probably 5 years ago, but it's in beautiful shape. I like the color, but color doesn't mean as much to a colorblind guy. Like I like to pick colors from colors that were available on that car, and as long as it was available on that car, I'm fine with it. I don't like seeing modern colors forced onto old cars. It does look it looks a little wrong to me, but that's a personal thing. Do we have any American agents? Well, the agent thing is, I mean, sure, if anybody wants to be an agent, just give yourself a number. I mean, it's not a real, the agent thing was really just a way of having not to identify my friends by name in the credits of the show or whatever. And and to give the whole thing kind of a goofy, subversive kind of vibe. The whole Cold War Motors thing started as a blog. And it was largely fiction, loosely based in reality. So it just came from there. And then when it came time to do the YouTube, which at first I was just using the YouTube to drive traffic to the blog. And then it turns out that nobody reads the blog anyway. So I quit doing it. But the agent thing just kind of stuck, and it's just a way that I don't have to put my friends' names. This place isn't exactly good for your resume. So, that's all it was, just to give it a kind of a goofy, kind of subversive kind of vibe. It's not a serious thing. There's not like some ceremony where we give a guy a badge, and it's nothing like that. Sometimes I'll just make up people's agent numbers, because if I'm editing and it's 3:30 in the morning and I can't be like, hey, Ashley, what number do you want to be on the video? And what, so just like, oh, what's a good name for there, I mean, I like that people think it's something, but it's not really a thing so much, other than just a way of, there's lots of ways to put your name on the internet, and it's not always good. So I certainly don't do it for my friends. If they want to put their real names up on the internet, great, go ahead, but I'm not going to do it to you. There's lots of ways, that we don't have to. So that's all. Right, Mopar Ed, CW Southern Command, right? You know what I'm talking about. Matty Peters watched every episode. Thanks so much, man. That's crazy. I don't even know if I've watched every episode. GC Flips ABQ location. I'm not sure what ABQ means. Yeah, that's another thing that I don't put up, is where people are, and because it's it's not, I don't want my friends to say, sorry, I can't be on your show because people showed up here trying to buy my cars. So I don't. I really try to respect my friends, privacy as much as realistically possible. I mean, sometimes I had a great story where Paul from the GCFC, he got recognized by somebody from this show. Like, somebody was in Florida. He was in Florida on some Ford training thing, and he wandered over to this little car show that was in like a hotel parking lot, and maybe a dozen cars, and he's wandering around looking at, there was, some lowriders and some fun stuff. And somebody said, "Are you Paul from the GCFCE?" And he's like, I just thought that was really hilarious, that he's like 5,000 miles from home at this anonymous little parking lot car show, and somebody knew who he was, and he just thought that was so funny. So it was kind of funny. Oh, you're welcome, Randy. Cheers. Thank you so much, John. You guys, it's those guys I think of when it's 7 a.m. and I'm still editing and the computer's crashing. Like, nope, there's a lot of people that, that they give you money to keep the show on the air. So you make it happen. And to my credit, I guess I have not, since January of 2018, I have not taken a week off. I have not taken 1 week. If Saturday is Christmas Day, then I'm up Christmas Eve till 7 a.m. editing. Like, I take those people's support very seriously. Which Packard is the new Packard Straight 8 going into? Great question, Mike. I don't have a good enough Packard to put it in. Both the Packards that I have they're basically derby cars. Like, they're so bad. And I'm not somebody who says that lightly. Like, if I say it's not worth restoring, it's probably not, because I'll fix anything. But I do have a couple of non-Packard cars that could use that engine, and I'm thinking it might be more fun to put that engine into into a different car. I have a couple of candidates. You guys, actually, let's just throw it out there. The first candidate for the Packard Straight 8 would be the 41 Plymouth Road King, or whatever that is. That would be fun. I mean, then because that Packard engine, let's call it 150 horsepower as opposed to 80 in the original engine. You would have to notch the firewall, but I don't think it's an open drive line with a stick shift transmission, so it wouldn't be very hard. Other than notching the firewall, it would almost drop right in, and now you would have a vastly improved performance in that car. So that's option one. The other option, I was thinking, also has a seized engine, is the 51 Kaiser Special, the brown four-door 51 Kaiser. It's not a particularly desirable or valuable model, and the engine is seized in it. And, what do you guys think? Either one of those are both cars that I'd like to put on the road. Neither one of them is a huge rust project. So I'm kind of, I would be actually happy to put that Packard Straight 8 in either one of those cars. And of course, I'm not making a hot rod, I guess kind of, but I'm not going to change anything. The cars will look they'll look completely stock until you open the hood. And then there would be a Packard Straight 8 in there. The Packards that I have, the one that we use for the racing Packard is an absolute piece of shit. Like, don't get me wrong, that thing is garbage. It has been smashed. The frame is swayed over. It's been badly repaired. It's all the bolts are missing on the fenders. Somebody's just welded it together. It's a terrible car. It's a parts car. It's fun to have, and the engine is pretty good. So there's no point in putting a different engine in a car that's not worth fixing that already has a good engine. I have another Packard, but it is a parts car as well. It is a much straighter car, but it's very, very rusty. And you can buy those big Packards from 51 to 54. They're kind of like with plates on them. They're less than 10 grand. So are we going to do a big restoration on a $10,000 car? No, it's not happening. So the engine, I don't know. I'm just thinking it'd be fun to put it in a car that I already have, and we'll see how it goes. I could totally, I could be talked into that. So anyway, fun question. Thank you. French weirdo cars are relatable. Yes, I suspect they are to some people. And I appreciate the support that we do get from the weird car family. I like to try and balance it. I certainly would never do a year of episodes of just fixing twee little French cars. I certainly no more than I would just drive them for a year. I like the contrast between the funny little French car projects and the big American car projects. So, Andy, another vote for the 72 Plymouth wagon. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Howdy from Kentucky from Michael Brown. Cheers. Keep doing what you do. Thanks very much. Sorry, I think I must have got behind here. That's cool. Well, what happened? Where did I get to here? That must be. Oh, there we are. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get caught up. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Oh, cringe when Burt Reynolds busted up the SM and I remember. You know what? I didn't see that. I didn't ever see that until long after I'd actually owned the car. I never saw that movie as a kid or whatever. So it is certainly, I did end up reading a little bit about that car after seeing that clip. And apparently it was a brand new car at the time. And they did wreck it. And they fished it out of the lake right away and sold the car to somebody who had already arranged to buy it after the shot was done. So there's a good possibility that car is still around, actually. You know what I was impressed with when they wrecked that car is some of the jumps and shit they made it do. Like, that body did not buckle. Like, when they launched it off of that bridge and it landed, and you could see that the doors still fit. Like, that's what blew me away, is that unibody was very tough. So yeah, it was a bit of a, you know, it was a little hard to watch, but it was also kind of interesting. So oh, cheers, James from Kentucky. Do a cold start and ride the motorcycle. I almost thought of doing that today. I almost did. If I tell you what, if it's nice next week, I've never ridden in December, so I would consider. I'll put on lots of clothes and go riding in December. Yeah. Put the Packard engine in the tractor. Yes, it would be almost impossible to do, but it's definitely got tractor cred, I think, for sure. Put it in the Dodge limo. That's not a terrible idea, except it's not a V8, it's a straight 8. Yeah, it's not bad. I have a different plan for the Dodge limo, but nevertheless, put the Packard engine in the Kaiser. There's one vote for one vote for putting it in the Kaiser for sure. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. Phil, have you ever saw a sketchy Showdown? Sketchy doesn't, but well, we thought of it. Yeah, definitely. It would be something I would consider for sure. We'd have to have 2 cars that were suitable and easy to do, and yeah, it's just I have to be very careful about committing my friend's time. The V8 Showdown, certainly I had to be very careful about how much of my friend's time I was asking for, and in the end, the reason that Ash and Miles were the captains of those teams is that they knew, you know, that they could be, they would make time and find the time to help, and that was tremendous. You know, that's asking a lot for guys to do that. So I have to make sure that I can help them out, and so that's the biggest consideration with these Showdown type of things, is you're asking a lot of people who are very busy. You know, to find anybody who's got even a couple hours a week, like I'm sure most of us watching this probably think, if I had to find 4 hours a week to do something, some part-time job, it would be difficult to find that time. So I have to take that very seriously and be very careful about that. Because once I say, like with the V8s, once we committed to doing that, I'm going to do it. And that's, you know, that's a big commitment. When we committed to that, I had no idea how bad the engines were. I certainly thought the Studebaker would be an afternoon, and it ended up needing a completely different engine and a whole lot of work, and then deciding to convert it to a stick shift, and all of these things took a gigantic amount more time than I thought. But and you got a pretty hard deadline around here because the weather goes away at a certain time. Even just getting people lined up to show up to film the actual racing on a certain day, I would have loved to have more people, but in the end, it is just, you know, everybody's very busy. And so I have to respect that, and I have to be very careful about what I'm going to say I'm going to do and actually be able to do it. So, oh my God, Wayne, $50. Holy. Buy something for Tom's and Bella. Cool. Yeah, I definitely will, man. That'll definitely help. Thanks so much, Wayne. Current project is a 57 Belvedere 2-door sedan. First car in high school was a 57 Plaza. Oh man, if you had a 57 Plaza in high school, yeah, that's it says, gives you a hint of your old geezer. Yeah, well, that's very cool, Wayne. Thank you so much. Yeah, and there's things like that too. Like that Impala was going to sit on the back burner forever unless the right donor car came along. So, but I can't go out and like get, you know, start begging for so that was just a nice case of the right car coming along, and very fortunate. And then that car suddenly, now the Impala goes from way at the back of the line to, well, now you've got everything you need to build it, because Tom's car is actually I see. I refer to it as Tom's car as well, even though I bought it off him. But it's very, very complete. It's just so rusty. And so now I found a non-rusty car that is not complete. Well, now you've got enough, and I didn't want to buy a car that was really nice and on the road and everything. Well, now you're taking a car off the road. But this way, I mean, that 60 I bought has been sitting in a field for 40 plus years. Nobody was fixing that car. The engine's gone, the windshield's smashed, it's full of ice, the interior's garbage, but it's not rusty. And the frame is cherry on that thing. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing that allows us to bump a project like that up. And so kind of the randomness of it is also fun. Just, well, whatever car, when all the parts line up, never thought I would own a Peugeot 403. But when two of them came up for sale in the same week, I'm like, well, I never said I wouldn't own a 403. So that's, now that car is not, I don't think that the 403 is going to get front of the list. Excuse me, just because it's another car like those Packards, which is interesting, and I would have a nice one, but you can't really justify doing a $40,000 restoration on a car that you could buy for 10. So, whereas the Fury, well, I couldn't afford a good example of that car because they have some value, and plus the fun of saving a car that nobody else would save. I mean, there is that factor too. And it was good video. I think it was an interesting challenge. And now we can do a similar thing. Well, I've got at least 2 more splice jobs lined up to save cars that probably would not be saved otherwise. So that's kind of that's why I can foresee going forward for many years yet. I'm certainly never going to stop working on cars or run out of cars to fix. So I will keep up with doing this as long as there's anybody to watch it. And if everybody stopped watching it one day, I would stop doing it. But if people are still into it, I'm into it. I love it. I get up every day and I look forward to it. So another vote for Packard engine in the Kaiser, right on. 2 more votes for put it in the Kaiser, right on. Jay asked if there's any news on the Fury police car. Dan's, I think you're talking about. Not really. He's got multiple police car projects. So the 53 Oldsmobile kind of butted its way in front of the Fury police car for now, just because it needs way less work. And I'm a believer in finish the projects. If you only have a certain amount of space, take the projects that need the least amount of work and get them done first. And then you kind of make room for the big life ruiner. And I think if you're thinking of the Fury, it's pretty good. If you're thinking of his 74 Monaco police car, that's a bit more of a project, but it's also pretty decent. But they're both more work than the Oldsmobile, which is already a running car. So I'm going to try to back up a touch here. Oh my God, sorry, you guys. There we go. 59 Buicks. Yes, I do agree. They do rule. How far did the Fargo go? Oh, the Fargo I sold to a fellow who lives not far away. He's a bit of a Dodge collector himself, and he gave it a good home. I believe he's got it on the road, but I'm not sure. Oh, Aduhai, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you very much. I was not expecting that. It's very kind of you. You guys are very kind. I guess no question from Aduhai, but very much appreciated. Cheers, man. That is awesome. Put the Packard engine in the $5 Roadster. I did consider that, but the whole thing is kind of structured around like the cross members and everything are built to fit the engine that's in it now, and that's Tom's engine, so that's how that's going to go. If I was to build another Roadster from scratch starting today, I would probably put the Packard engine in it just because it gives you a really nice long hood and looks awesome. Tom was your older brother. No, Tom is my father's age, almost exactly. Al wants to buy the 37 Chev. Well, maybe one day, but right now I'm just enjoying it way too much. Oh, the Hammers. There's Hammer Bammer. Hey, good evening, Scott, and good evening. Oh, well, very nice to see you on the old live stream. You're very kind. Looking forward to seeing the 60 Impala back on the road. Well, thank you. Me too. Packard engine to forklift, also a great idea. In the Renault, also a great idea. Bit more involved than I think I want to get to the Renault right now, but yeah, I thought about it in the forklift, but it's kind of a waste of a cool engine. Plus, the forklift does what I need it to do. So, what motor's in the Roadster project is a 1959 Mercury 5-ton truck. I think it's like a Lincoln block. If you're familiar with the Lincoln 368, it's a derivative of that, like a truck version of that. So that's the story on that. Yeah. So that is just a project that I've got to get underway here. An episode, one pulls over. Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I think it's a DS. Cheers. Yeah. Hello from Melbourne, Florida. Cheers, Robert. When do you think you'll start on the 60 Impala? Possibly next summer. Yeah. Hi from NW. Well, very kind of you, Andy. Excuse me. Are you doing a 2023 Winter Beater Showdown? I don't know. The trouble with Winter Beater Showdown is that building a beater is almost as much work as building a car for summer. So, and to just go and buy something, well, I don't know. I'm driving the Newport right now. So that's been a consideration. Oh, an interesting alternative is to put the Nash or put the Packard motor in the Nash. I do have a Nash, but mine is very poor. It's not a restorable car. It's a parts car. So, so if I found a good Nash, I would definitely buy one. So, Cedar Bigger was a great choice. Cheers. Yeah, it was. It was a great choice. I think so too. John Powell, 10 pounds. Thanks very much, John. Since you've introduced the second piece of music in the credits. Oh, that's I know what you're talking about. That one's it's in 5/4. Yeah, it's or 10/8, I guess, if you prefer. Yeah, that is the piece that we wrote for the snowmobile day a couple of years ago. But thanks very much. I'm glad you enjoy it, John. Cheers. Yeah, that is the first piece I tried in 5. By an Afghan for Brankers. Cheers. How's the Mean Dean machine? He's good. Build a motor for the Newport. Well, there's no need. The motor's excellent. Mark appears. Yes, Mark is driving the old Mercedes Fintail that was in one of my earliest videos. That car got driven by me and then sold to Jim and then sold to Mark. So it's cool that it's still kind of in the little circle of the guys around here. It's cool. So I will try to get a little caught up here, you guys. Sorry. Bass in the background. Oh, this is Giuseppe's bass. Well, since there's a bass guy here, I'll show you this one. Oh, this is a P bass call. Yeah, that's just since we're talking basses. I don't usually take any issue with the instruments for the show, but if you're a bass fellow would probably get a kick out of seeing that guy. That is it's a 1966 model. It's out of tune, so I can't play it. Anyway. Yeah, that is a 66 Hofner 500. And this was a gift from a very dear friend, my friend Mark, who lives in Montreal. His parents were moving out of their house, and this was in the attic of the garage, and the neck had come away, and it was in pretty terrible shape. And so he kind of salvaged it, and he gave it to me many years ago for my birthday, and I had a luthier repair. You can see, probably not. No, you can't really see. They did such a beautiful job. But the neck had come away, I guess, as they do. These are all made with animal glue, and it had been stored very badly. But that is a Hofner Beetle base that I think they became known as. So anyhow, sorry, I get all just off track here. Yeah. Current schedule of cars to be worked on, Tom is asking. Well, the SM is underway. 59 Buick will be underway this winter. The Traction Avant is not at the top of the list because it is currently running and movable, and that's going to be a big job. The more I look at it, the more I think, well, I'm probably going to end up taking it apart. So we'll do the 59 Buick. That at least we'll be doing the engine for it this winter. And Deborah's asking, my husband wants to know when you're working on the Continental again. Well, in about an hour. Thank you for asking, Deborah. I will be heading over to Jim's in about an hour, or whenever he sends me a note here on my phone. I just keep checking it. That means that he's headed home, and I'm going to go over and we're going to pick at it again. I was over a few weeks ago, but we didn't really film enough to make a little segment, so I'll probably combine the last bit with whatever we get done tonight. And with any luck, that'll be in this Saturday's video, a little update on the Continental. It's a very big job, so I started that quarter panel for him, and I'm going to make sure that I finish it. And then once the quarter panel's done, the rest of the job's not too bad. So then I'm going to kind of sign off until Jim is content with the rest of the welding and such on it. And then when he says, okay, I'm ready, let's get it ready and paint it, then I'll sign back in and we'll go. And, that's not going to be a concourse car. We just want to make something fun that he can actually, who gets to actually drive a Mark II around as a daily car. That's really fun. So we're not trying to do a perfect restoration there. It's more just about having fun. So certainly there are better examples of Mark IIs, but whatever. That is a pretty spectacular car that I never thought I would actually be one of my friends driving that. So that's really cool. Sorry, I'm really behind again, you guys. I don't even know what I'm going to say here. I don't know where I got. Okay, we got to Giuseppe's base. Thanks. Cheers. And I'm going to try to get, wow, we're way behind here. Vote for straight 8 in the old Chrysler. That's another option. We did talk about that. I got that harmonica grill Chrysler. That would be a fun one to see on the go. Another vote for the Packard 8 in the Kaiser. Yes, cool. When does Laura get her Rover? Yes, when it's done. It'll be, within the next 12 months, I would say. There's a lot to do. The interior's got to be completely redone. It was all garbage. Luckily, Colin's sister is a very professional upholsterer, and I've seen some photos of the interior coming together. It's going to be very nice, all leather, and thank you very much, Phil, for the kind words. Less favorable algorithmic priority. Yes, I'm okay with that, I guess. I'd have to be at this point. Let's see. Remind us of the meaning of the GCFC. Oh, G was originally for the boy's last name, but I just changed it to gentleman. The Gentleman's Center for Cultural Enrichment. One day, a bunch of dudes hanging out. Yes, thanks very much, Julio. That's pretty much what it is. I've seen people, sometimes they're looking for, sometimes people are looking for some kind of hook or meaning to it, but it in fact is exactly what it appears to be. Is a bunch of guys who really like cars and really like just hanging out. So any chance we'll see a visit from Kyle or Dan and Danny? Well, that's up to them. They're, of course, as I said, the thing is, it seems like we might be close, but Dan and Danny are well over 1,000 miles away from here. So it's a big country, and it's even 300 miles to where Kyle is, and he's made that trip at least once already. So it's very cool. Yeah, I'd be happy to have either of those fellas stop in any time. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Like we're in the middle of nowhere here. So Stevie B boy sent me $10. Thank you so much, man. That is so kind of you. Again, it's just very nice. No question from Steve, but thanks so much, man. That's very cool. Enjoying the t-shirt and the pure shirt. Oh, thanks very much. Put it on my Galaxy. That's awesome. Bill thought Laura did well. Well, thank you very much, Bill. That's I know that always a little nervous. Laura's very. She's a bit nervous appearing in them because she doesn't want to be discouraged. By reading negative reviews of whatever she did as a favor to me. So as long as she still gets some fun out of it, I always look forward to whenever she can come. Oh, James D, $20, a Peugeot 403 fan. Holy cow. That is very kind of you, James. Well, we'll put the 20 aside for the 403. Actually, I pre-spent your money, and I've already ordered a Solex carburetor rebuild kit for that car just to get it running a little better. No plans to go too far with it yet, but thanks so much, James. Your 20 is pre-invested in a carb kit, which should be here any day. I got all my brake parts for the R5 today, so we'll see. I ordered all that stuff at the same time, but I guess the way Rock Auto works is it comes from all over. Anyway, I don't know how this shit works. I just whatever. Packard engine in the Peugeot, also a great idea. Packard engine in a mahogany speedboat. Yes, that was plan A for sure. Actually, plan A was 2 Packard engines in a mahogany speedboat. That would be the ultimate. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So what about the Hudson engine you bought? Yes, it's stored inside and waiting for me to have a realistic project for it. Laura was chicken. Yeah, I know it was pretty hard to not crack up when I was doing that with her. We had some laughs for sure, and that we had tried. We thought we were going to do some, like, if you guys ever seen bad lip reading, we thought we were going to do it like that, but it's a lot harder than it looks. And then I said, you know what? You don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to take all of the silent footage and I'm going to put it all in a row here, and we're just going to watch it and say whatever the hell comes to mind, and then you can leave. So that's what we did, and that's how it ended up. Being what it was. But the doing actual lip reading is a lot harder than we kind of. I think we made a reference to that. Ray enjoyed me and Kyle doing body work in the rain. Yeah, I think I enjoyed it and you enjoyed it. I don't know if Kyle enjoyed it. He was very kind to put up with that. Poor Kyle. He came out, but no, we had a good laugh, and he didn't have a lot of time either. So, yeah, Kyle is awesome. Yeah, and yeah, turn up the bass, right? Yes, you guys got it right. It is a Hofner. It's a Paul McCartney. It is a legit. Yes. Sorry, guys. I've just caught up to this. It is the real deal. We had the neck off, and you can see the date behind the neck is something like February '66 is written on. It's the real deal. You can see that the finish is absolutely mangled on it. It's had a rough life. It's got a lot of miles on it, but it still has a cool sound. It really has a cool sound. So yeah. Anyway, I thought you'd get a kick out of that one. Cheers. Turn up the bass. Yeah, right. I think this is the bass I used for Turn Up the Bass theme song. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun old thing. So sorry, just trying to read. Hello from Japan. Holy cow, who's in Japan? 9:35 a.m. Man, that's cool. These old places just seem like mythical places to me. Like, that's awesome. There's Randall. Hey, for the Hammer Bammers. She's so fun. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I pushed something and now it all went away. There we go. Am I having a car show next summer? I don't know. They're a lot of work, and then if it rains, you get nothing. So, I don't know. So we just had his jazz bass painted 61 Chevy Fawn beige. That's a great color for that, for sure. I've painted lots of guitars and instruments for my friends, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually really like painting guitars, as long as, I mean, I wouldn't paint a vintage guitar that was worth a bunch of money, but I'll certainly paint a late model guitar. What's up with the old RCMP Suburban? Oh, that's Dan's. That's a GCFC classic. That's just a car he's always wanted, and it's 4-wheel drive, and it's pretty clean, very clean. So we're going to get that over to Al's here one of these days, and we're going to get the frame. It's just a little kicked up at the front, either from hitting the ditch or from being moved around while it was frozen to the ground. Anyway, for whatever reason, the frame's just kicked up maybe an inch at the front. We've got to pull it back down, and then that'll get going. But yeah, Dan just buys the cars. He's kind of, that's what I like to do as well, is just buy the cars you always wanted. If everybody thinks, I mean, not many guys have an RCMP Suburban and a 53 Oldsmobile. So, and I really like that. I'd rather go and look at a collection of really eclectic, weird stuff. That's, even if it's not the stuff I'm super into, like, I probably wouldn't buy an RCMP Suburban, but what I love about that is how much he loves it. It's like Dan, he likes that stuff. So, and of course there's a lot of family. His father always drove old RCMP cars, and he imbued that he passed on that enthusiasm. And so the boys have all these terrific memories of going with their dad to the junkyard to get parts for 78 Impalas and 75 Furies and stuff like that. So it's kind of it's a family thing with them and those police cars. In certain parts of the world, that's where frugal people would go, is they'd go to the government auction. So it's not the fact that it's a police car, it's the fact that it was a government auction. These were a good deal. You could buy a pretty well-maintained car for pretty cheap, and you could drive it. And so, like, when Dan restores his cars, he doesn't paint them up as police cars. He just likes that it was a police issue car. But when it's getting redone, it's not going to have lights and stickers or anything like that on it. It's just going to be all one color. So it's not it's just the police cars were a great way to get a very tough car that had been well maintained for cheap. And so if that's kind of your MO, then that's where you end up, and I just think that's great. And little different angle, because my dad didn't like used cars. So I just always ended up buying the cars that I just thought looked awesome. And that's kind of where I've been going. Another request to get the 61 Plymouth back on the road. It's definitely on the list for sure. Mexicans back. Does Laura still want the Rover? Oh yes, she wants it. She would actually prefer that it was already finished, I think. But is the airplane on the T homemade? Not by me. It is a very old piece of folk art that was donated by a very kind viewer, and it is a beautiful thing. And so I put that on when we're going somewhere where there might be, where it's a little bit of a, if there's going to be kids and people around, like the tractor pull, then I'll put the little airplane thing on. I don't have it on all the time because I have another gift, a motometer, which gives you the temperature of the engine, which is a little more useful than the spinning airplane propeller, which is also quite loud. Because if you hear the videos where that thing's on there, you can hear it jangling away. It's pretty funny. So that's the story on that. They were both beautiful donations and gifts from people who really are Model T enthusiasts, and very, very much appreciate those things. So sweater shopping with Kyle Carter. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he goes shopping. I think he just finds. Back Packard engine, the Geyser. Another vote for that. Yeah. What color leather interior on Laura's car will be brown. So, Brian, the old Jeep guy, always watching the show. Thanks so much, Brian. 87 Mercedes 560 SEL. That's a cool car. Yeah, that's a very gym car too. And a Jeep CJ6. Very cool. Very fun. So I'm lucky to have good friends. I really am. That's more than anything, right? So very much thank you, Ed. Yeah. So sorry, I'm just trying to keep up here. Deborah says, thanks very much for the tremendous job on the calendar. Well, thank you very much. I was very proud of it, and I wanted to make sure that it was something that because it wasn't cheap. I'm not going to pretend it was cheap, but at least when you open it, you're like, okay, this wasn't just a rip. Like I really do respect that people would, donate, support this show at any level. And I just thought, there's a lot of crap car calendars out there. Most of them I don't like. I've had people give me car calendars and they go right in the garbage because the photography shit, cars are shit. And it's usually a calendar put together by people who don't know anything about cars. And I thought, well, I want mine. If it's going to have our name on it, it should reflect that, I really, I just wanted it to be good. And I wanted the photography to be good. And we had my friend James, who really came through and did a beautiful job. So I can't thank him enough for that. I'm just gonna try Packard 8 in the Chevy with the caddy fins. Not a terrible idea. Might be a little more. Oh, Ray says it is arrived unbent. That's fantastic. That's what I was really hoping. Yeah. Bruce asks if I'm a Highlung fan. I watched some videos after I saw Laura wearing the shirt. It seems like a very interesting stuff. I don't know enough about it to say whether I'm a fan or not. Certainly it is a very, very interesting stuff, but I don't know anything about it. I don't, is the Black 5 going to be my winter beater? No, definitely not. Those things, even the gold one, which I put together as a winter beater for our winter beater show, I just can't. They just rust so fast, and all the work to weld it all up. Originally, the Fraser was going to be a winter beater. And then when you get it all done and you're like, well, here's a pretty good rust-free car. Like they put so much sodium or whatever, nitrogen, I don't know what the hell they put on the roads around here, but it just turns cars into garbage. So very, that's the trouble with the whole winter beater thing. I like to have an interesting winter beater, but you're consigning it to the scrap heap. So trying to balance, is it cool and fun? But it also has to be disposable. So whereas I like the Renault 5, but I don't want to take, it's probably the only one in the whole province still running, and turn it into rusty garbage like the rest of them. So yeah, that's the trouble with winter beaters, is they take just as much work to put together as any other car, and then you just turn them into garbage. So commercial, shall we buy their wares? No. I apologize for the commercials, you guys. I set the number of commercials to the absolute bare minimum. I didn't really suspect that, but I don't do a live show very often. And YouTube seems to change this whole platform seems to be evolving almost constantly. And as it evolves, it turns more and more into television, which was what YouTube was started to get away from. And it has become what it was never intended to be. But of course, it was bought by the people that own television. So that's what it's turning into. Sorry, I'll try to get back here. Oh my goodness, you guys, sorry. I am really, is this still, oh, I'm sorry guys. I should have other people who are professionals at this have somebody else reading the questions for them. Do I have any siblings other than Laura? Yeah, sure. My brother Andy is in lots of the videos. He's the one with excuse me, with the blue Fairlane and the yellow Capri and the old red Indian motorcycle. And he's more into motorcycles than I am. He really likes motorcycles. He's got a little less room than I do, but he's concentrated on his motorcycle collection. Anyway, yes, that's it. I have one sister and one brother. Oh, Ed's got to go. Cheers, Ed. Thank you so much for stopping in, buddy. I swear YouTube is ripping you off on subscribers. Shh. Don't tell them that you're... I don't know. I mean, I would... What do you know... believe me, it's crossed my mind. That's all I can say. But I guess the way I get around thinking about that is I say, if you had 500,000 subscribers and you made the same money, would your life be any better? No, it would be worse. So, I have the best subscribers. The fact that I can make a viable, and I keep my overhead as low as possible. The fact that I can make this viable with only 60,000 subscribers and do something like this where there's actually 600 people in the room. I mean, that's pretty, that's pretty good. So if I had 600, if I had 2 million subscribers and nothing else changed, then would my life be better? No, it would be not better. So I don't know. That's the only way I try not to dwell on the numbers, because you watch some channel where they couldn't fix a sandwich, but they got a girl in cute shorts on there, and they get 150,000 subscribers in the first week. And I've been doing it for coming up 14 years. So if you let that stuff get to you, you'll just give up. And I thought, well, are you doing what you want? Does anybody come up and tell you what you have to put in your videos? Does somebody edit your videos to make it look like, there's some drama that's not happening? No. So all of those things happen when you start having those big numbers, and I don't have to put up with any of that. So I'm going to have to just be content that it's just some weird little underground bullshit thing. Great. I don't care. You guys are here. We're having fun. It's unbelievable. Any new subscribers here today? Probably not. So that's awesome. Oh, Claire, thank you very much. Never seen better. Well, thank you very much. I'm so happy you guys are very happy with it. I know I certainly, it's what I wanted. We went and we talked to the printer, and it's one of the reasons we decided to do it. So I wanted to put my hands on it and be like, this is the paper I want. That's, something that is good, because, I wanted it to be good. So I'm really happy that I didn't want to read 500 letters about, it's kind of a piece of crap, or, it would have been nice if it didn't show up all bent and wrinkled. Like, it was a bit of a job to make sure that it was a quality thing that arrived despite the post office's best efforts to wreck it. My box that I got my Renault parts in showed up today, and the whole side of it was torn open. I don't know how the stuff didn't fall out, but that's just how it goes. It's almost deliberate. I swear that they got somebody there just smashing this shit up. Like, it's unbelievable. The gasket kit for the Studebaker, beautiful donation from Edward Warwick, showed up bent in half. I spent a half a day doing PDR on the gasket so we could use it. It's crazy. Darren asked if Franker's asleep. Yes, she is. Oh, she moved. We'll see if we can get her in here in a minute, but I don't like, she's, George checked in and he was unsubscribed sometime today, right? I mean, I don't know. For me to think that YouTube has some personal thing with me means that I have to start to believe that I'm important enough that YouTube even knows who I am. And I don't really want to believe, I don't want to start having my mindset like YouTube is out to get you because you're what? Because you're some fucking bum that lives in a junkyard and plays with his cars. Like, maybe just nobody cares about this shit, and we got, I've got I don't care how big the audience, I have the best audience. Certainly when you look at the number of comments and stuff on the videos we make, it's usually way more than the number of comments that get put up on videos by channels that do have a lot of subscribers. So, I've also, and I've been doing this a while, and I've looked at the statistics and stuff, and I've looked at the numbers, and I see how it works, and it's a con. Like, when you see those videos that have, a lot of views, because it's happened to me, like, for instance, we won't get into it. I won't get into it, but it's a con. Let me just put it that way. A lot of it is bullshit. So a lot of those numbers are fake, both subscribers and views. A lot of that is total bullshit. So when I realized that and figured it out, and I won't say how, I quit worrying about it, and I'm just doing my thing, and just, hey, we got a bunch of people here who, who are into it, and that's great. And it allows me, if it was shit, it wouldn't support the car habit, right? I would, and so, I don't need it to be bigger than this, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't want it to be bigger than this because it's already a lot of hours. And if it becomes to the point where I'm spending more hours managing the YouTube channel than I am working on the cars, then the whole original purpose of the channel is gone. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, is if it, if I could have 200,000 subscribers, but now I'm working 7 days a week, then they're subscribing to do what? To watch me edit videos, because there's no work getting done. So anyway, that's kind of how I'm just have to look at it, because otherwise you start banging your head against the wall of like, okay, maybe you could take out the cigarettes and the swearing and the alcohol and the dope and okay, well then you could take all that out, but then what is left? I mean, if I take all that shit out, there's no show. People are like, well, you should bleep out the swearing. I'm like, well, it would just sound like a fucking telegraph. I'm not bleeping the swearing. Well, sometimes I bleep it. No, I don't. Oh, Tom, $20. Thank you so much. Look forward to every week for your show. All of your efforts show up in the finished product. Keep up the excellent work and all you do. Sure hope the GCFC 53 Cadillac isn't too far gone. It's my favorite. Thanks so much, Tom. That's very kind. That caddy is magical, I know. And I don't think it's too far gone. I mean, I've seen the car up pretty close. It's not too far gone. It's a big job. Like, you're not salvaging one stitch of that entire interior. The body has to be completely disassembled. Every screw has to come out of that car. But there is a car there. There is a car there that could be built. Hey, there's Keith. Keith, our Rover friend, Keith. Hey, Scott, he says. Cheers, Keith, buddy. You got to stop in one of these days. I know Keith's very busy man as well. So did not expect to see a Hofner base today. Cheers. Well, we got a few. Well, this is the only Hofner I have. I have a few bases, but this is the only Hofner. There's my note from Jim. So we can't stay too much longer, you guys. I would be expected at Jim's house fairly soon. Chuck Elliott from Southeast Kentucky, #1 fan. Well, that's very, very kind, very flattering of you, Chuck. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm just going to have to try and catch up, you guys. Sorry. Send the shot when I get it done getting paint. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Giuseppe's bass. Yeah, a guy could certainly spend a lot more on guitars and stuff. I might buy myself another guitar this year. I certainly like guitars too. But I'm not. The reason I buy cars is I kind of understand cars. Like, I can tell when I'm looking at a decent car. Whereas when I'm, it's easy to buy, like, if you put 10 watches in front of me or 10 bass guitars in front of me, I'm not going to pick the one that's the best investment or even the best machine. Like I don't know enough about it. So luckily I have the room, and I've been kind of thinking about cars nonstop since I was a kid. So I think about them, and I don't find it difficult to pick one, So the guitars, I buy the ones I want, but I'm not a a connoisseur of guitars at any level. Like I like them, and I buy the ones that I think look cool. And this was an anomaly. This was a very kind gift from somebody, and I got it kind of repaired enough to be usable. But if I were I probably would never have come across this just wandering around and be like, oh, there's an old Hofner. Oh my God, they want how much? Like, it's actually probably got some value. So I try not to think about that either. So just fun to have. They have a really cool sound. Like, it's actually a lot punchier and ballsier than I thought it would be. I thought I wasn't expecting it to sound as cool as it does. And it's got a particular tone. And so that's kind of fun. Wish there was more band playing. Well, that's very kind of you. Sorry guys, I'm way behind again, and we're running out of time, so I will have to kind of move along here, just because otherwise I'm not, I'll be completely out to lunch by the time we get to the end here. You guys, more Mark's Garage wants more Roxy music. Yeah, well, I certainly, the first few albums are pretty awesome. But there's a lot out there. We're kind of limited to songs that non-musicians can play. So that, like none of us are musicians. The only, now when I play with Pete and Matt, those guys are musicians, and we do the trucker songs and stuff. Those guys are musicians. Me and my brother and Ash and us, we're just having fun. That's a totally different thing. So, what's the coldest temperature to paint in the shop? I'll paint right down to freezing. It's fine. Paint doesn't care. I mean, it does, but you just wait extra long between coats, and once you're done painting, turn the furnace up and whatever. But yeah, just be careful, but you can do it. You can get away with it. Certainly, there's very little humidity here, and I think humidity does more harm to paint and metal and stuff than cold temperatures. So, oh, great. Thanks for everything on the calendar. Got it today. Oh, good. I'm happy that they're all still arriving. Thank you guys so much. Do we ship merch to Europe? Yeah, well, we ship the calendars to Europe for sure. So Tom says, my brother and I always laugh at Western Canadian frankers. Well, thank you. 99% sure Daisy Dukes won't happen. You're driving distance to stop it too. Yeah, well, what if Dean puts on Daisy Dukes right now? He's not here, so we can't. I would stop that. I would stop all of that. None of that is happening. Fury Wagon. Oh, another fan of the Fury Wagon. Yeah, it's in that. It appears in the background of all the videos just to troll people. No, it is going to get done. I mentioned earlier that that's the first project for when the hoist is up. So it's coming. Probably in the spring we'll try and do the hoist. We just ran out of time. The weather's too cold for doing concrete, and the ground will be frozen very soon. So that's kind of the story on it. But yeah, that car I bought because I wanted that exact car. Like I said, because a lot of, I don't know about where you guys are, but around this part of the world, there's still a lot of fuselage era Chrysler cars, C-body cars, 65 to 77. There's still not a lot, but I'll put it this way. There's way more of those cars around here than there are people to take care of them. So I thought, well, because they come my way, the opportunity to buy those types of C-body cars comes my way more often than not. I thought, well, what's the one you want? Like, because I don't need 10 of them. Like they're not, they're nice to drive, but they're all 65 to 78. They drive roughly the same, which is not to say badly at all, but they're not, like the Renault 5 is a completely different experience. It's rolling over on its side and it's hilarious. But the C-bodies, like you don't need 10 of them to get the idea. So I thought the only one that I would like, we're looking at the 500 plus hours of work to put one on the road. The only one I really wanted that I thought I will go out of my way to put aside 2 years of my life to build would be a 72 Sports Suburban, preferably gold with brown with the wood paneling. If it didn't have wood paneling, I didn't want it. It had to have the hidden headlights. I would have preferred that it had a big block, but whatever. But it's then a gold one with wood paneling and hidden lights, and the bumpers are excellent on it. The interior is even pretty good. And when that came along, I was like, okay, well, these are getting pretty hard to find. So that one you buy. And now when if a 68 Newport 4-door sedan comes along or whatever, I don't buy them, because I've got my 67 Fury that I've had since high school. I wouldn't buy that car today, but I had it when I was a kid, so I kept it and I fixed it up and I drive it a couple times a year, whatever. But the only C-body that I really wanted was a 72 Sports Suburban with wood paneling and hidden lights. And then they came along. That's definitely on the list. I know people say, well, if you're not going to do it, sell it to me. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. That one, I've been looking for that. It took years to find that car, and there it is. So that's definitely on the list. I want to confess, I don't watch TV, and your program has been my weekly go-to every week since you were working on the T. Thank you for what you do. Oh, well, you're very kind. Thanks. That's from Giuseppe's Base. And tonight's base show and tell brought to you by Giuseppe's Base. Very cool. Thanks, buddy. And yes, and that is on the list. I wanted to do, somebody mentioned doing the comparison of the 59 and 60 Furies. Yes, the only thing stopping me is I want to make sure that the front U-joint is dialed in a little bit better on the 60, because I don't want to be distracted by that little wiggle. And anybody who's seen those cars, the way the transmission's mounted is not particularly stable, I guess, it's mounted on a spring, so even the tiniest little bit of off center and you feel it when you're driving it. So I have to sort that out, and then we'll do that comparison. I want to have both the cars absolutely dialed so that we can actually get a little bit enthusiastic with them. And my gut instinct is that it's hard. I'm a bit off. It's a bit misleading that because the 60 I've just reupholstered it all in all new foam and all new upholstery, and you sit up a little higher in it, whereas the 59, the foam is pretty much shot in the front seat, so you sit down quite low in it. And so that's kind of throwing my subjective evaluation off, because the 60 feels like you're sitting up in a completely different, it feels more like a newer car, whereas 59, it feels very, well, it's just, I want to make sure that I've got that sorted, and I want to make sure that I'm testing them in as close a condition as I can get to how they were when they were new, which means in the case of the 60, fix the front drive shaft U-joint. In the case of the 59, fix the upholstery or fix the batting on the seat so that we can get a better sense of, is there actually any difference in the seating position? My gut instinct says yes. My gut instinct says that the 59, you sit substantially lower. Maybe we park the cars next to each other and one is a bit lower than the other. I don't know. It'd be interestingly also, that the 59 is the last full frame car, but 57, 8, 9, you got a completely different roof line and windshield on the two doors. But starting in 60, the 2-door and 4-door use the same A-posts and the same windshield height. And a couple people thought that I didn't know that when I started splicing the 4-door Dodge to the 2-door car, as though I might not have actually measured that first. But in fact, starting in 1960, the windshield height is the same on the sedans and hardtops. Not true 57, 8, 9. but funny that people thought that I would chop up those cars and not actually just grab the old tape measure and make sure. Anyway, that's definitely a 59-60 comparison coming up. I have a couple of fun ideas to do with it, and I also want to see how this 8mm film project goes, because I really like the idea of bringing that. If this goes well with the developing and the transferring and everything, I really, it's just a totally different thing when you realize I got like a minute and a half here, and then you flip this thing over. I got 3 minutes, and you flip it over, and you got another 3 minutes, and you don't get any sound. So it really makes you think about, okay, what is the absolute shot that I can get with this? Whereas with digital, you're just like, just throw the camera on a tripod, turn it on, and then go look for your keys and see if you can find the car. Okay, well, eventually you drive past and you kind of dump it all on your computer and use 4 seconds of that 20-minute clip, and you don't get to do any of those things with analog. So really something to do, something that I'd like to try again, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out, not to use the pun, but Randall and I agree. I'd rather have good people than higher numbers. Absolutely. This channel is absolutely built on that. Like the quality of just recognizing so many names as I scroll through this, and been doing it a long time, but it's just so cool to see that, so many people have, Glenn says he's had to subscribe 3 times because they keep on. So I don't know. I'm not sure about YouTube's, we're only unsubscribing spam bot channels. It seems to me that, and without dwelling on it, it's like they literally unsubscribe 200 plus people a month from this channel. Whether those are all spam subscribers or not, I have no way of knowing. That's why whenever I say, hey, please check if you're subscribed, like I'll say it now, please check if you're subscribed. Whenever I say that, oh, look at that. Suddenly I get 100 subscribers that were probably subscribed before and have been unsubscribed. And so, but then if you're thinking, well, is it deliberate? Well, then you have to start thinking that YouTube gives a shit who you are. And I really don't want to, I don't really want that. Maybe I just don't want to think that YouTube even knows who I am. I'm just happy to completely exist under the radar here, but who knows? Glenn DeJere, thank you so much. Love your channel. Great group of friends. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. I'm just deeply honored that anybody would open their wallet to keep this going. It's very, very kind of you guys. You run around when I'm not sure I understand that. What's your favorite Exner era Mopar? Oh, well, it's hard to say. Right now, it's the 60 Fury. Yeah. Keith, you want to come by Saturday? Sounds great, buddy. Just send me a note anytime. So just trying to quickly run through here. Again, I don't want to, maybe I'll have to just skip ahead to the end here because we are going to run out of time. Arts Garage, thanks for linking to Carter Auto Reselling. Oh yeah, when I saw what Kyle was doing, because he was here visiting, and he's like, oh, I have a channel, but it's whatever, and I just play with cars, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I was watching it one day, and I was like, oh yeah, talk about being a little too modest. Like, guys, he is fantastic work. So it's cool, and I'm happy to say I've changed the way I do stuff after watching Kyle, for sure. Absolutely. Wearing a Kohler Motor shirt to a car show is like being famous. That is fucking awesome. My 3.5 vans. Well, thank you so much, buddy. That is really cool. Calendar got to Europe just fine. That's also excellent. So, you guys are, the reason that we're doing this. Absolutely. I'm always amazed. Rob Moffat, Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's cool. Unbelievable, eh? Mexicans Back says I need a 63 B body Plymouth. Yeah, that's a good one. I had a 62 years ago. I if I had that car today, I would keep it. At the time, I sold it, but I do have some time for those smaller ones. That's cool. Trade my Indian motorcycle for your winter beater. Okay, you're gonna try it for that thing. You're crazy. Does it have the drive shaft hanger bearing? No, it does not. That's 60 Chevy does for sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, I totally loved the babbiting video that Matt and Jim did. That was great. And talk about stuff that nobody else is doing. Those guys are awesome. Sorry, I'm just getting ahead or behind of myself. I don't even know where I am now. What engines are in the 59 and 60? I guess you're talking about the Furies. They are both 318 poly engines. Same as in the 67. Actually, I got 3 of those engines parked all behind each other. What do I put in the cars to keep the rodents out? Good question. I put mouse traps. I don't put poison because I don't want the cats and dogs getting poisoned. And the thing with poison, and it happened to Andy, he put poison in his car. The mice ate the poison. Then they go up and they go in the headliner and they die there. I'd way rather have them be dead on the front seat on the floor than have to take the headliner down. So I do put mouse traps in, and I've been pretty lucky. Maybe you get one mouse every few weeks, but I put them in all the cars, and the good cars, the ones outside, they're probably full of mice. There's nothing I can do about it. Most of them have had mice in them since before I was born, so I don't care. But once they're all restored, I hate mice. I hate them. Oh, Frankers, you gonna come say hi? Frankers was just here. She didn't even come say hi. So, well, you guys are awesome. So, cheers, John, just coming in. Hammers says to Randy, Scott's normal to you. Well, that's coming. It's coming from her. That's awesome. Well, Saturday afternoons. Well, thank you guys so much. Just gonna kind of try and catch up, and then we'll just there we go. Great. So if anybody has any last minute questions and whatnot, I would be happy to answer them for the next 10 minutes or so, and then we're gonna have to go. So that's record the next time you take a car to get inspected. Well, that would mean being in the gentleman's way. I have a lot of respect for the people who inspect my cars and their time. And basically how it works is I just drop the car off and they get to it sometime in the next 24 hours, which involves them driving it and putting it on a hoist and blah, blah. And, and then I get a pretty detailed inspection sheet. And so the actual process is it would be intrusive of me to ask them to do that. I'm happy to report if the car passes or fails. I remember the Fraser failed the first time I took it in for a slightly questionable inner tie rod end. And I knew that was questionable, but I couldn't buy just one. I had to buy a set of 4, and it was somewhere over $1,000. And so I took it in and I thought maybe he'll pass it, but he wouldn't. And fair play. I mean, he's got to put his name, he's got to sign that. And I'm nobody. I don't have a license or anything, but he's got a license in a legit shop. And if he says it fails, it fails. And I've always told him that the favor is not, I'm not asking you to pass it. I'm just not asking you to fail it because it doesn't have, like if it's a 1937 car, you can't fail it because it doesn't have seatbelts. And they know that, and he doesn't. But if it has bad kingpins, you'll fail it, and that's fine. Shade Tree Mechanic Racing, $20. Wow, you guys, thank you so much. That is crazy. You guys, that is very kind of you, man. That is great to help keep us going here. The videos, I think maybe people think they make a bunch of money, but they don't. The videos make very little money. So it's the calendars and buying the T-shirts and the people on Patreon to keep it going. And it's, and I try to take the ads out of the videos if there's too many. Like my last video I put up, they had put 17 ad breaks in it in a 1 hour video. So, I know I took 10 of them out. I can't take them all out because then the videos, if you take them all out, YouTube won't even play your videos because they're like, why should we waste bandwidth playing this video? So you have to kind of balance it. And I try to keep it, try to keep the number of ads to a minimum, but it has to be there. Like it is at the end of the day with something that's taking me 75 hours a week to put together. If we include the filming and the actual work on the cars and the editing, it's 2 full-time jobs. And so it has to pay enough to be worth it. Otherwise I should just go work at a shop. So, and I really don't want to do that. And I'm happy to do this. I really do enjoy doing it. So Dave asked, no A bodies. Well, not yet. Actually, I would have one. My first car was an A body Dodge 69, and I loved it. I sold it to buy my Fury that I still have. It's kind of funny because if I had kept the 69 Dart, it would probably be worth twice as much. But at the time, I was trading a 160,000 mile car for one with 47, and at the time, it was the right decision. And I still like that Fury a lot. Dana Wick, $10. Thank you so much. Your channel is awesome. Well, it's just got more awesome now. Thanks so much, Dana. You guys, that is very, very cool. We're just trying to do something that we can do, Tom needs poly engine push rods. Okay, I'll tell you what, if I've got them out sometime, you can get a hold of me through the store. I don't sell parts because that's what I would end up doing full time. Like it's not, then people are, it's a gigantic amount of work. I don't even, like, I've done it a few times, but I mean, like, I just have so little time. They're not, anyway, that's why I generally say no, just because, it seems easy. We'll pull them out and put them in a box, but then you got to fill out customs forms and you can't mail stinky, dirty stuff. So then you got to do that. And then the post office is not at the end of my driveway. So now I got to go anyway. I don't want to bitch about it, but there's a good reason why, because I've got lots of parts I could sell. I got lots and I just don't have the time. Dean, on the other hand, I'll pass along your note to Dean, and Dean sells parts all the time. So I'll make sure that he knows about it. And even if I give him the parts and he takes care of it, totally fine. I don't care about the push rods. You can have them. I don't care. It's just I don't have time to box them up and go to the post office and deal with the bureaucracy there. It's too much. But I'll make sure Dean gets that note, and I'll make sure that you get them. Cheers, man. So, oh yeah, Nick's garage. Yeah, I'm glad that worked out really well. It's very, very cool. That was something that I did not realize were so hard to get, which we're talking about the valve covers for a 383, I believe. Was it 383? It was in a Chrysler 300. Anyway, it was a Cross Ram 383, and it had the valve covers. The early B block valve covers only have 4 bolts, and I had a set of them here. And somebody said, "Oh, Nick's looking for these," and I'm like, "Well, Nick's got 100 of everything, so why would he be looking?" So if Nick didn't have them, they must be hard to find because he's got 100 of everything. So when I saw that, well, here's a chance to do those guys a favor, I thought that was terrific, and I went outside, and I was happy to send those off, and it was really cool of him to, and they were very kind to me about that. But I'm not, it's not, it's very unusual that I will find an excuse to go pull stuff apart and put it in a box. I just don't have the time, and I'm not really, I'm not in the parts business. I could be, but then there'd be no time for any of this. There'd be no time to make videos or even work on the cars. I could just strip parts all day, but I don't, I really don't, I don't get anything out of it. I want to say, thanks very much for Mark's Garage. You guys are very kind. It's John Powell signing off. Cheers, John. Thanks so much. Jim's Conti, Liz Taylor Blue. We talked about it. Jim even tried talking me into it, but it's easy to say Liz Taylor Blue, but that's like a 17 coat paint job on that car. It was really fantastic. So, Virtue Streams, thank you very much. Life's better with you. Thanks very much, you guys. That's very, very kind of you. Kurt Lydell, 1999. Thank you very much, buddy. You guys just crazy. That is very, very generous of you. And Scott Marehead as well. Cheers from Kamloops. You're so a musician. Well, I guess depends on how loosely you'll define musician. But thanks very much. We do like to have fun. If being a musician is having fun with your friends, then I'm a musician for sure. It just gives us something to do while the paint's drying, and I really, I do enjoy it. Yeah. Jonathan, what the hell's still here? I know he's probably said that 13 years ago. He's still here. He's still going. I think Jonathan's channel's older than mine though. If somebody asked him, if you're still there, what year did you start your channel, buddy? And Jonathan, watch the mail, boss. I got something coming for you there. So I hope you enjoy. And everybody, again, thanks so much to Jonathan for playing along with V8 Showdown and showing us how it's properly done with that lovely Packard engine that he put in the Hawk. I hope you keep that car, man. That's an amazing car. And I think that was the only year that engine was offered in the Hawk. So that's a pretty awesome thing. So yes, yeah, everybody. Yeah, Jonathan, he shows us how it's done for sure. There's nobody on YouTube doing what Jonathan does. And another guy that has an actual job as well. Like, it's easy for me. I just sleep till noon and fuck around all day. But, these guys like Dan and Jonathan, who are holding down legit jobs and still putting together videos, is pretty awesome. Pat McLean, thank you so much, man. That is great. Every bit will help keep us going, and like I say, it's getting time to maybe upgrade some of the hardware around here, and that'll be something that we'll be looking towards. Cool to see Tractor Gnome live. I guess that's me. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, that was another voiceover thing that happened. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's very kind of you guys. Let's see, did Jonathan answer about when he started his channel? I'll have to see. Not yet. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that he started it probably around 2010. Yeah, that's awesome. It was a 413 for a 63 Chrysler. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. And it was one of the last with the 5 bolts. So anyway. Cheers. We answered the GC. It stands for the Gentleman's Center for Cultural Enrichment. Bill Barclay got his calendar. Cheers, man. That is awesome. I'm so happy that they've all arrived in decent shape. That is great. Did you report on the Mark II? I'm on my way out the door to work on it. So I guess we'll have to get at that. And you guys are just so awesome. Rex Cars, thanks so much, Rex Cars. Another $10 from Rex Cars. That's great, you guys. Very, very fine. That's kind of gonna run us out of time, guys. If I gotta be at Jim's in half an hour, I should probably take the Menace for a walk. Well, let's see if we can get her in here. Just a second. Frankers, come here. Wake up, come here. Oh, come see. Who's here? Come here. Here, boo boo. Come on. Oh, there you are. Oh, what a good girl. Ready? Oh, there we are. How's it going? Say hi to everybody. What a nice girl. What are you doing? Who's that on the thing there? You see? Yeah, it's nice, hey? Oh, what a good puppy. Are you sleepy today? You gonna go see? Hey, you gonna have a nap? You gonna have a nap? Okay. There we go. We had to get Frankers to say hi, you guys. Very good. All right. You guys are so kind. Whoop, ready? Okay, get down then. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Well, that is awesome. She is the real star, that's for sure. Well, that is very kind of you guys to sit here and sit through 2 hours of me mumbling. I guess I had better get at it, and we will see everybody on Saturday. And again, thanks so much. Yeah, wow, you guys, what a terrific response to have so many people stop in. It's very, very kind. Maybe we'll see, depending on the timing and how I can get it done. I'd like to do a mail opening either live, or we'll get a whole bunch of guys over and we'll try and do as much as we can. I know so many people have sent things, and it's just a bit overwhelming. I like to do to show the proper amount of respect to the people's efforts, and it just means it's a giant amount of editing to do it well. So you guys, Terry Eustace, sneaking me $10 at the last minute. Thank you so much, man. You guys, I'm going to see if I can figure it out here, and we'll have lots. Oh, there, Jonathan sounds right. Mart started 2014. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. I thought that he'd been at it longer than me, but somehow I've been at it longer than him, just without the success. You guys, fantastic. One of these days, I'm just going to phone Jonathan. We'll just pester him. What do you guys? That's what I should have done. Should have just phoned him. Well, it's too late now. Next time I see Jonathan's, because he was silly enough to give me his phone number, and I've never spoken to the man. Next time we do this, if I see his name pop up there, I'm gonna phone him. I think that'll be funny. All right, thank you guys all so much. Have a terrific evening, and then yeah, there. He's agreed to it, at least in principle. At least now he'll know he'll either never sign on again, or he'll just leave his phone turned off. Okay, good night, you guys all so much. Thank you guys so much for stopping in and letting me waste a certain amount of your time here. We'll do it again soon, and tomorrow I've got another long day. Phil, that is so kind. Wow, see. Okay, I'm going to stop now because it's starting to look like I'm just hanging on here waiting for people to give me something. Thanks so much, Phil. That is very cool of you. You guys all have a terrific evening. It's so great to see so many of the names that I recognize from the comment section here, and everybody stopping in, and that is awesome. I'm going to push end right now.